Earl Monroe has become one of the outstanding players in the league in his initial season.
He dribbled with the ball as if it was a yo-yo.
You can't teach what Earl Monroe did. Earl was born with that dip in his hip, that glide in his stride.
So as the Knicks continue to develop their characteristics throughout the season, this is going to be one slow grind, especially on the defensive end. And I know everyone's always asking, what the fuck is up with the defense? Just looking at it, we're giving up a lot of points. The offense has to really be rolling. And at times, even when they're rolling, these games tend to be close. But again, it's going to be a slow burn. We're going to build up the characteristics, the chemistry, the communication. But one thing early on we're seeing that really needs major correction is a transition defense. Just a lot of simple things can happen as far as communication, guys paying attention to who's on the ball, especially on certain coverages where players are not even guarding the man with the ball. They're sort of trying to just get to the original defender. So small things that can happen on that end to patch things up. But particularly these things stood out in the games against Chicago, Brooklyn, and the Pacers. Again, a lot of these things are fixable. Okay, right here, tight game going down the stretch, about 3 minutes left. And look at the Knicks right here in transition. A miscommunication between Bridges and Ariel leads to an open three. Look at Tibbs. Extremely pissed. This time off the miss. We're going to see the Bulls push it up. Look at everyone right now for the Knicks. They're trying to recover to their man. Look at Deuce. He's trying to find his original man. OG trying to recover. There's no ball pressure originally, which is fine. Guys are just trying to recover, but the Bulls take full advantage. Look at Deuce. He's trying to get back to his original man, and now he's caught off guard. Easy bucket for the Bulls. This has been happening a lot early on this season. Now, this time around off the miss, it takes him a second to gain control. So we'll see how this plays out still. Now, I don't know if the Knicks just have players too overly focused on their man, because OG doesn't necessarily have his eye on where the ball is at. He's just getting to his man. And Sims is staying up here to keep up with Vooch. Because Vooch this season, he's been hot from three. So the inside of the paint is kind of exposed in here. And Brunson is the help. Brunson is almost a low man at this point. OG is just recovering. He's just finding out where the ball is at right now. So the Knicks kind of might be too overly focused on in transition, just paying attention to where the original offensive play that they were defending. They're just overly focused on trying to find that person that they're slowly getting exposed in the middle. See, it's just Brunson right there to help out. And Josh Hart, he low-key is on that same list that Karl Anthony Towns is on. The list that's going around saying who's getting beat by their man while trying to defend the rim. But the reason why Josh Hart is on that list is because most of the time he's defending players that are bigger than him. I mean, Aaron Gordon is also on that list, and he's a good defender. But sometimes with the Denver Nuggets, he's playing defense on guys much larger than him. But once again, right here, the Knicks completely caught off guard. Inside the paint is wide open. OG is normally the guy that's supposed to recover and help out to protect the rim right here. Again, Sims up here because Vooch, him trailing, he could pop up. He's been killing this season from that from three. But we've been getting caught like this all season long. Brunson off this miss. Now I'm wondering, Brunson, if him just applying ball pressure right away and just forcing the Bulls to make more passes. Maybe if he passed it back to do an outlet to Zach LaVine. See, the more passes the Bulls do in transition, or just any other team, the better it is for defenders to get back and recover. But Brunson just going back. See, now they got LaVine on the outlet. And once again, guys are getting to the rim very easily on us. Let's look at it again. Brunson off this miss right here. If he could just put the ball pressure right away on the offensive player, and guys can just get back and just recover to a body, not necessarily be too overly focused on their man. And then we'll just make the adjustments from there. But just getting beat like this is just killing us. Now right here is a perfect example of the Knicks being too overly focused on getting back to the original man. Brunson right here is just going to pick up a body. The Pacers, they love to run in transition, but Mikal does not want to leave Brunson on Tyrese, knowing that it's a mismatch. So with him doubling, it's going to leave Mathurin wide open. And this is what the Pacers love to do. Now off the deuce make, this is a great example of transition defense. As you can see, Mikal communicating with Sims. As right here, OG is actually going to bail us out. He's going to get in the way of the attacking lane, and he's going to strip the offensive play right here. Good thing about having guys like OG. But at this point right here, with 5 minutes left in the first, the Pacers smell the blood, and they realize what they do best, which is run in transition, quick and pop threes. It's really going to work for them against this Knicks team. They could just see how we play in transition. They kind of smell that blood in the water. Now off this Mikal miss, we're going to see there's no ball pressure right here, first of all, and also a miscommunication between OG and Josh Hart. And Karl Towns, by the way, I understand he's in drop back coverage, but he's way too far out, especially with Miles Turner trailing. He could just pull up and shoot this. But because there's a miscommunication right here, along with Bridges recovering, it's creating an opening for the Pacers. See, look at Josh Hart. Now he's a low man. Who was he guarding? OG originally waved him off again. Let's look at that again. Josh Hart and OG communicating. It's a miscommunication. It's two of them on Pascal. And then also, Towns is way too far back. Look at Miles Turner. He's trailing. Guys are just way too overly focused on picking up their original man instead of just picking up a body in transition. And this is how we really getting beat. You know, something is definitely up this season, because I don't know if it's the attack of the annoying Reggie Miller clones, but Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young, they've been really annoying this season, thinking that they're styling on us, not realizing that the Knicks are sort of getting their chemistry right. Guys are trying to find different forms of communication to not step on each other's toes. And as soon as things start clicking, these guys will be in trouble. Again, off another miss. We're going to see nobody apply any pressure right here. No pressure applied at all. And Josh Hart doesn't even take away his attacking lane. Forget his defender. We need to play the ball a lot more. These guys are almost in a triangle position and still can't stop Tyrese Halliburton from going in the paint. Come on. Off another miss. The Bulls, check out White right here. Dribbling from the other end. Look at that, no ball pressure. A man getting up to the three-point line. Not one time anyone applied any ball pressure. And look at OG, by the way. Of course, he's locked in on his man, but there's no awareness of where the ball is at. By the time OG turns around, my man's already at the cup. Let's look at that one more time. Look at the wide open space Kobe White has to get ready for liftoff. He has a complete runway. Nobody's pressing him at all. Now off this Mikal miss, we're going to get a mismatch right here right away. Patrick Williams on Mikal Bridges, the much bigger Williams. He's going to start to drive. Sims, you got to pick your poison, because right here, Jalen Smith is just an average shooter. So Sims should have been already in a better position to not let Williams thread the needle right here and get to the hoop. Shit like that might be just a scouting report, just knowing it. Now right here, even off a make, look at Ben Simmons. Thread the needle right here. Look how many guys are bunched up. But they got Ben Simmons styling out here. All these things are fixable. In this circumstance, communication is key. This time around, off a rebound. And look at the positioning of Karl Towns. So right here, Josh Hart on the closeout. Look at Towns' positioning. You got to kind of get over a little bit. Lazy defense. Too easy. Towns looking like Andre Bargnani out there. Oh, man. We don't want to go back to those days. Now the Nets right here secure a long rebound. And in transition, it's 3-on-3. 3 guys behind the ball. 3 guys on the offensive end. But look at Brunson right here. Overly focused on picking up his man only. Look at that. Straight line drive right here. And draws a foul. So we've seen inconsistent communication. And guys are so focused on getting back to the original man that they sometimes forget to apply ball pressure. And they also overlook defenders who are off ball and leave them an open lane to attack. And the most painful games that we had issues with transition defense was against the Indiana Pacers and also the Chicago Bulls. Now right here, as you can see, Towns knocking down the 3. Look at Jalen Brunson's face, as you're going to see the reason why. Quickly give up another basket in fucking transition. That's how quickly that Towns 3 got wiped away. But hey, this is all fixable. They just got to want it. Look at Josh Hart in this recovery. Yeah, they just got to want it. Crazy how in one season a whole team's identity could change like this. But the team relatively is in a great spot. Things are still coming together. It's going to take us this whole season to kind of mold both the offensive side and defensive side to kind of infuse it. But a lot of our defensive angst comes from things that are happening in transition that are very fixable. But at the end of the day, again, we're in a great position, but we're always going to be hovering that line of almost being in the same spot that we are at right now versus being in a spot where you see the Philadelphia 76ers are in right now, where the roster is pretty much very top heavy and 1 or 2 injuries could derail the whole season, could actually shift it into a whole nother gear. But knock on wood, hopefully things stay the course. And I would say, my fellow Knicks fans, don't panic too much. Until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.